Hello class, welcome back to Statistics and Mathematics Tutor channel. We thank you for revisiting the channel again. We started our training on SPSS for data analysis. So in our previous video, we learned something about how we enter data points and we did small data cleaning and exploration, right? So today we are also going to continue from where we ended. Today we are going to learn how we can import data from our Excel sheet or from our desktop into our SPSS. So let's kindly go through that. So for you to be able to import data from your desktop to SPSS, what you will do is just come at the top here. You have files, edit, view, data, transform, analyze, graph, utilities, extension, windows, and help, right? So you come here and then you just click on file. So once you click on file, a pop-up will come, and then you see import data, right? File, import data. So once you come to the import data, you see database, Excel, CSV, you see text data, SAS, stata, DBase, UTOS, etc. right? So for my case, the data that I have on my desktop is stored in what CSV file, right? It's a CSV data, right? It's an Excel data, but I save it in what CSV data. So if the data is saved in CSV data, you kindly click on CSV data, right? But if it is saved in what Excel as Excel data, you just click on what Excel. So it will move straight to your desktop or your computer, and then just fish out the Excel data that you have, and then you select one that you want to use for the analysis, right? So here my data is saved in one CSV, so I'll just click on CSV data, and a pop-up will come like this, my CSV data. In fact, my data is on my desktop, right? So it's just an Harris data that I will use for the analysis, right? But maybe for instance, your data is not in your desktop, maybe it's in the documents, right? So you have to just come here and then click here. Once you click here, then you just go through, right, and see if you see any documents here, right? In fact, you see documents here. Documents is there, right? If your data is downloads, you just click on downloads. If your data is in this PC, you just click on this PC. But for me, my data is on desktop, so I'll just click on desktop to select that, right? And then as I said, I've already selected the CSV files, right? Maybe mistakenly you click on Excel file, right? So when you came here, you want to do the corrections again, right? So for the corrections, we have to select what Excel data. We want to select Excel data, I want to select text data, SAS or stata, right? But for here, I want to use the CSV, so I'll just click the CSV that I have. I was doing that for you to see when you do a certain mistake, when you come here, you don't have to cut it and go back and then start the whole process again. So since there is the data that I'm going to use is CSV file, as you can see here, it's just Harris data CSV file. I just click on it, and then once you click on that file, your data, just come here and then click open, right? So when you click on open, a pop-up will come, right? It will start to load your data, right? So once the pop-up comes like that, you just click on what OK, right? Once you click on OK, you have your data nicely launched in what SPSS, as you can see here. So let's go through this the second analysis, right? So the first one was how you enter data point and what data exploration and cleaning. So that's the part one, and then part two here we are also going to continue from where we ended on what the data cleaning exploration, as we did in our previous video. So when you come in the previous video, I really explained the data view and the variable view for you. So please, if you haven't watched that video, kindly go and watch it, because it will give you a good knowledge on how you should do this kind of stuff. So I just said that the variable view here, the data view here is used to enter data from, or more or less when you import data from your desktop, it will come to the variable view. The data view. So for the variable view, anything that you can see at the variable view here is just a description of what the data view. right? It's just a description of the data view. And you see, in the previous video, we were having var 001, var 002, var 003, and the rest, right? But at the end of the day, you can see that here we just have our name, right? Sepal length, sepal rate, petal length, petal rate, and what species. But since we just store this variable name, right, in what Excel, and save it as what CSV what file, right? At the end of the day, when you import it, it will also keep what the variable name that you already installed it when you are using what your Excel, right, or any other software that you are using, right? So when we come here to, we have what the data type, as I explained there, right? We have the data type. As I said, that we have atomic data type. So for that atomic data type, we're just going to describe our data for us. So here we have our numeric. It's saying now that the sepal length is numeric, the sepal rate is numeric, the petal length is numeric, the petal rate is numeric, and the species here, as you can see, is what string. So that's what a character. So once we see the string, oh, it's telling us that we have to at least change the string to a factor. And in that previous video, we learn how we will do that, right? So at the end of the day, when we come here to, you clearly see that, right? Come in, you clearly see that the petal, the sepal length, the sepal rate, and the petal rate and the species, they are all of what? Numeric, right? So this is numeric, as SPSS was saying, and the sepal, the species here, as you can see, is what? About the species here, as you can see, is just what? A string, right? So for this string, we have to change it to factors, as I said, right? So when it comes to the read tool, we have we explained that in what our previous video, and then the decimals too, we explained that in our previous video. So what I want you guys to, what we want, I want you us to do here is to also give it a variable name, a label, so that when you do graphs, it will be represented by what? That label, right? So at the end of the day, let's give it a label. Let's say a sepal length for, let's say let's give it any label. Sepal length for, sepal length, right? Sepal length for, let's say sepal length for hen, right? Then when we come here, sepal rate, right? Sepal rate, sepal rate for hen. When we come to the next, we give it petal length for hen. Then when we come here to have petal length, sorry, here is supposed to be red. So here will be petal rate for hen. Then just give it species, right? Species. So these are the labels that I want us to give to the data. So once you have the label, as I said, this label is going to represent the let's say the x and the y axis that we'll be having in our graphs, right? So when you come to the values too, as you import your data and there is a string, you have to also change it to factors, right? So for our data that we just imported, we have string what? Inside, right? We have string inside, that's the setosa. We have what we call the vegicola, and then we have what we call the virginica, right? So we have to assign these characters to our factors. When we come here, we just come to the species, click on that. When we click on that, we see a blue distinct pop-up with 3 dots inside. Just click on that. Then we are going to assign what values to that, right? So we are just going to say that let one be of a label of what? Let one be of a label of what? Setosa, right? Setosa, right? That was the first distinct group that we have. So after that, you just click on add, and you just say true to the what? Virginica, right? So versicolor, right? So you have our versicolor, then you add, right? You add. So I think there is a spelling mistake. Let me go and check it well so that I'll come back and then do that. That's what versicolor. Versicolor. That's, I've seen the spelling. So let me go and spell it well here. So here we have 2. We are just representing 2 by what? The versicolor. Versicolor. Right? So just click add. And then I'll give 1 to setosa. Right? Setosa. Now click on add, and I'll give 3 to versicolor, virginica, right? Virginica, right? So I'll just give that to that. So these are the 3 individual groups that we have in what the species, right? So I have to assign what numbers to them, right? So 1 to setosa, 2 to versicolor, 3 to what? Virginica. So you just click OK to store that in memory. So without assigning the characters to factors, it will be very difficult for you to do the analysis, because R is not going to run it for you where you include the species inside. Maybe you want to perform a logistic regression, right? And then for that logistic regression we have to use species as what our independent variable. So if you don't change the species, right, the groups into characters to factors, it's not going to do your analysis for you. As we explained in the previous video, the missing here, there is no missing data or data points in our data set. So here you see none. You see the column, and then here you see the align, right? The align to, if you want to change it to left align, right align, you see it, you can do that, right? So once you change it, it will surely have effect on the data, right? So you see that for the sepal length and the petal length and the rest, right? You see that they are all what right align. It's only what the species is what left align. That is the reason why you see it here, right? So that is what the second data cleaning exploration that you can do, right? So kindly also walk through. I will keep this data on my Google Drive so that you can go there and download, right, before you start the class, so that you can walk through, right? So kindly go visit my this. I'll send the link at the description below so that you can download the data set from my Google link and then use to practice what along, right? So thank you for watching. Bye. Have a great day.